That was probably one of the most beautifully presented episodes and scene I've ever seen in an anime in a long time. For the sole reason, when Kayo begins to cry when she sees all that food, you then you're not really a spectator. You're more invested into the actual world itself. It sort of just gets underneath your skin. It becomes like you're like feeling the emotions that they're feeling, and it sort of just really gets underneath your skin. And the way that it was kind of presented, the fact that when she was closing her eyes and opening back up, and she was seeing the different kind of life she's living, like the sense she was seeing the one where she was back at her house, and the one here, and the one back at her house, and one here. It was presented so beautifully that it sort of was beautifully presented, like in the sense it just got underneath your skin. It got to be emotional, and it actually was really powerful in the sense I was actually crying. Like I didn't suspect myself to cry in this episode, but no, holy crap, I was actually born like a little girl because. Really want to see anything bad to happen to Kayo because she's a really nice person. The fact is, when you're seeing a really, really nice situation, a really, really nice kind of environment with really nice people, and you kind of see her cry, it sort of does really affect you because you know as a viewer you wanted this the whole time. You want her to live a life where she's safe, and because the anime is basically saying no, you're not effing having that. It makes you cry when it doesn't happen, and when it does, it sort of makes you even cry even more because you're seeing it happen before your eyes. You're seeing it basically be a nice kind of world she's living in, and it was so nicely presented that I was just like, no one else besides A1 Pictures or besides the actual animation director could have done that, or the writers themselves could have done it even more perfectly. For some reason, it was just so well presented. But god damn it, okay. So, my suspicions have changed, in the sense, I don't think it's anyone else but the teacher now. The teacher's my prime suspect. In a sense, I've kind of always said it might be Yuki, it might be someone else, it might be someone else we don't know, but I'm actually suspecting now it's the teacher more than anyone. Just for some reason, I'm sort of getting these vibes that he knows too much, and he's sort of, kind of, almost doing... He's saying these things that sort of makes you realise, how would you know these kind of things? You wouldn't know these kind of things, no one else is suspecting it, because I guess everyone else is not really oblivious kind of thing. But basically, the teacher goes with child services to go to the house and say basically if she's an unfit mother or not, and then take Kayo away to an orphanage, sort of thing. And then basically what happens is, when they leave, one of the people go, "Oh, why don't you ask the police to help the mother look for the actual child?" And he's all like, "Oh no, don't worry, because I've got a suspicion she's safe. Oh, I actually know where she is." I was kind of like, no. I don't like that line. I don't like that line. Why didn't no one else pick up on it and say, "Oh well, okay, where is she?" Because he says, "I have some kind of idea where she is." And I was kind of like, this is kind of being a bit strange. How would you know where she is? How would you get some kind of idea when no one else has really told you anything outside of certain people? No one's really told you anything because you always suspected already that she's kind of gone missing. That it's sort of like, okay, then, all right. Maybe there's some kind of more ulterior motive going on here that I'm not seeing, or maybe he's actually seen her already, knows she's actually in that kind of bus, and now he's going to go and murder her. Because then you also see at the beginning of the episode where he actually goes, well, someone goes to the actual kind of trailer, and then goes inside and basically puts the murder weapons down, and then kicks the thing and leaves. So then I suspected maybe it might have been him, because he's wearing the exact same jacket. He's wearing some jackets similar, but he's wearing the boots. Or he's might not be wearing the boots, but it's suspected that the boots that he's wearing are the same ones that Yuki are wearing when Yuki was basically found to be the murderer. So maybe he's actually wearing the boots so that actually he can actually then blame Yuki for the murdering. But then in theory, there's actually another murder weapon in turn, which is actually going to, I think it was going to gas out the whole area, so maybe Kayo would have died via gas. But then at the end, when he goes, "Oh yeah, well okay, that's basically then." He's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry," when he's talking to Satoru's mother, going, "Okay, well, okay, this is..." I'm sort of then realising that he might actually even be knowing a lot more, because he then suspects that actually he already knew that they're going to go back together. It's kind of like, no, why would you say that again? You're sort of saying things that aren't really... I don't know, it's sort of bugging me, the fact that he's saying these things. He's getting a lot of screen time, he's getting a lot of things. That's what made me realise there's something more going on with him than I'm actually suspecting right now. I might be complete talk out my arse, he might actually not even be him. But unless he's leaving these things, specifically so Satoru can find them and say, "Oh yeah, well basically the murder's going to happen," purposely, so he actually knows what's going on. Because when a person leaves, and he leaves in a very supernatural kind of way, like in the sense he just disappears, he doesn't actually just kind of like go out of view. He sort of just disappears. I was kind of like, this is getting a bit weird, in the sense that he has some qualities that kind of make him seem like he's a normal person, but the way he's going about it and the way he's doing things, it makes it seem like it's kind of not. It sort of made me suspect that actually he's kind of a bad person. But actually, yeah. So Harumi actually might be saved as well. I'm not too sure because we're getting the people out of the loops of the murderers, because we've seen that the loop actually is the trailer itself that they're actually in, so, or the bus. So basically, whatever you want to call it. But basically now they're getting out of the bus. They've actually got out the loop of murders. So maybe actually the murderer might be frustrated and they might have to find a new way to do everything. But again, still, it's just certain things. It's not adding up in the sense that it's sort of just saying to me, actually, there is more here than we're led on to believe. Because personally, I don't think Yuki's that much of a person who's that calculated to do that murder that we're actually seeing, because we actually now seen the murder weapons themselves. I don't think he's that kind of person who would do it like that. He's not that calculated. Yuki doesn't come across as that kind of person. Maybe he is. Maybe he actually is a good murderer. I'm not too sure. But the murder weapons he actually has in his possession seem like someone who's actually kind of more advanced and more kind of, in a way, gifted in this kind of murdering. So it kind of then makes you realise that actually it couldn't be him. It has to be someone else who's a bit more smarter. I'm not too sure. But then, yeah, the nice thing was Satoru actually got Kayo over for a sleepover. But then Kayo and Satoru's mother actually called the teacher and said, oh, they've come back. And he's sort of like, okay, so what's going to happen? Tomorrow they're going to have an orphanage kind of thing going on, and maybe she might be taken away from them, so they might not see him again. But then I'm guessing everyone else is okay with it, because if she's safe, then that's the thing that matters. But then the teacher calls someone at the end, so we're not too sure what happens. But then at the end of the episode, or maybe it's actually to call the actual child services so they can actually go to the house again, because at the end of the episode, we see Kayo, Satoru, and Satoru's mother go to the house with the mother in it, and then sort of like, oh beat, this is going to be like the greatest setup for the next episode, and something's going to happen with these two. So maybe it actually might end up with having a really nice ending. I'm not too sure. It's just the teacher's doing things. It's just, I don't like him right now. Plus, anyway, the episode was actually really beautifully presented. I love the interaction with the characters. It was beautiful. I love the episode itself. But yeah, so in a nutshell, that's a whole episode. Kenya's still being Kenya, so I like him. Kayo's the cutest person on earth. But yeah, so Satoru's actually kind of become one of my favourite MCs in history, but I like him a lot. Maybe he should have taken back the boots, just back to Yuki, so he wouldn't get framed for the murder. Would have been kind of a bit more of a thing. But then why would he kick the box that has the actual thing inside it? I'm just... certain things aren't adding up. But anyway, that's my hypothetically speaking brain. We've also had Having the Driver. If you leave a like, do leave a like quite a bit. Leave a sub. Do leave a sub, it does help me quite a bit. We've also had Having the Driver, and does it later. Bye for now.